much.
I'm going to because I want to play Majora's Mask. The Zelda game that's on there.
I know Ocarina of Time's on there. I don't remember seeing Majora's Mask. If it's not on there,
if it's not on there, it will be.
But anyway, like I was saying, we'll talk about it more off air. Hey,
Ibrahim.
Everybody,
how's it going?
Now we're really outnumbered, James.
Yep.
That's funny.
Whew. This we're all here, guys. But before we dive into the films we're going to be reviewing, which you guys should be able to see between all of our screens, 3-hour screens, and the background and shit, and the title, let's dive into what we're drinking really quick. We haven't done that in a while. I'll start.
This dude's got a. I'm drinking a puppy.
Always here.
No alcohol because I'm going out after this. My two of my little homies, I guess you can call them, they're like family, but they both graduated college. They walked the stage today, so they're going to the casino tonight. I know one of them is. So I'm gonna go there and hang out with them. So no drinking. I'm gonna be the R word, responsible. But anyway, so
yeah, don't be the other R word.
I thought he was going to be the other R word.
Yeah, you hear that, Chris and James? No racist, no racism tonight.
No,
that's not where my head went.
Yeah,
what I was thinking. I was thinking something else.
I'm drinking the
yeah,
Skittles.
Chris, you're right. It was the one you were thinking of.
Skittles, Skittles mix, powder mix, delicious, green, so it's pink.
Cool. Yes, I am just drinking some Sierra Nevada Celebrate Holiday IPA here. Good stuff. My dog wants down.
I'm drinking Vista Bay hard seltzers.
Okay. Nice. How is it?
I can't taste.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
Oh, yeah, Sarah doesn't have her taste yet either.
Damn.
She can taste like some real bitter dark chocolate, and that's about it.
I can't imagine not being able to taste anything.
It's weird, man.
But like honestly, I think it would probably make me lose weight and not care about food. Which not caring about food would suck. Losing weight maybe would be okay. But
yeah, but then you start eating for texture because to remember the stuff like ice cream. You know you're like, oh, you know what I mean. So.
I have my friend who lives in Maine. She got COVID too, and she was like, yeah, eating ice cream is like it's like eating ice, putting ice in your mouth. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
That sounds awful.
It's bad. It is. It's sad.
But then I never eat it again. I would never eat it again. So maybe that would be good.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't. You would just stop eating it, right? Yeah. You just stop eating it. You
know. Worst Dame, what are you drinking over there, man?
Some coffee, a little Santa mug.
Nice.
Oh,
chilling for the holidays.
Are you gonna do something after this? Because you're drinking coffee at 9:00
Gaming.
on the East Coast. Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
I could drink coffee and go right to sleep.
Oh, the pod's mom is here.
What's up, Mama?
What's up?
What's in your cup, Mom? Ibrahim, what are you drinking? Anything?
I'm drinking non-alcoholic beverages.
Same here. Hey,
what was James drinking?
Vista Base hard seltzers.
Why do I look like
drinking something that tastes like nothing but has an effect at the end?
Exactly.
He can still get white girl wasted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want James to get drunk or really high on an episode so bad.
Can't do it, man.
I've done it so many times. I know Puerto Rican Chris has done it so many times.
I'll have to keep downing them.
Well, James, have you tried to drink like any vodka or anything like really strong? Do you still get the aftertaste?
You get the burn.
You get the burn. Okay. Damn. So you don't get the taste. Well, something like a vodka, not tasting it might be.
I was gonna say for certain things you wouldn't want to taste.
Yeah, like not tasting the fucking the motor oil taste. Maybe that's another advantage.
So
can help,
honestly.
For example, I use this Carolina Reaper powder on my food. I can't taste it, but you feel the heat come out of nowhere.
Oh. So James, I think I know your problem, your issue. This might help. Go to the liquor store, get yourself some of that nasty ass Devil's Springs that tastes like rubbing alcohol. Taste come right back. Boom.
Think so? Or melt the rest of my taste buds off.
Just start chugging some Colt 45.
There you go.
Some oldies.
What's crazy is they have no idea why it happens, really, and they have no idea how to fix it, which is fucking scary. like that is fucking crazy.
I just realized Puerto Rican Chris froze. I was wondering why he was so quiet.
Did he really free? Oh shit!
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
his internet's.
Sometimes he just stays there one spot for like 10 minutes.
I know he does do that, but after a while he'll start like laughing. So that's
La
why
Migra came to his house, so he had to.
So, for example, right here,
yeah,
Bird dog.
Bird dog.
chug it. Can't taste it.
Oh my god! You can just like hold it in your mouth.
He's gargling with that shit.
Yeah.
nothing.
That's
Damn.
that comes back for you, man. It needs to.
Damn.
It's been
I was reading some stuff about that, and they were saying you got to kind of
Yeah.
like wire your brain back. You got to eat something that you remember how it tasted, and then think about it.
I'm
think
fat.
about it for a long time.
I remember everything I eat.
Yeah, man. You gotta think about
like,
what you really liked, and then it'll just come back.
Yeah,
Gotta do that.
I'm hoping, man. I
It's
try.
just like
Get
Nick
that deep
Cage
dish pizza or
remembers-
some shit.
Yeah,
I
Nick Cage
tried
remembers.
pizza a couple of times, and I'll sit
Yeah,
there too. I'm like, come on.
Fuck.
My
No,
bastard.
man. You're gonna make me depressed.
Nick
That's
Cage
bad.
remembers every meal he cooks in the movie Pig.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Which was I could have watched
Yeah.
that.
Aaron's still not feeling it.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna watch it unless you guys already
It
know.
was weird.
Anything involving Nick Cage, I'm not gonna watch unless I have to.
It was odd.
Other than that,
There was one thing I was hoping was really gonna happen in that movie, but it didn't happen because it's just not that kind of movie. But
you get fired.
it's
as
still
an
pretty
actor.
good.
I wish that too.
You thought he was going to do a Tom Green with the pig?
I thought no. I thought we were gonna see some violence. I thought we were gonna see
Oh.
some violence.
Oh,
I
I
was-
kind
I
of
was-
expected some at some point too, because
Yeah,
he looks
I-
like he's on the verge the whole
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point in the movie where you could see like where some real violence could happen, and it could have just been like an explosion and like, oh, okay, this is
Okay.
it, but it doesn't happen.
I got to check it out.
So, it's not what is Willy's Wonderland or that other fucking movie. he
Wally's
did.
Wonderland. I gotta watch that. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. I think.
Was
Yeah,
was that
it's
the one he did? Prisoner in the Ghostland.
I
Was it
actually
Samurai?
got one.
I did see that one, yeah.
I watched part of it.
I watched none of it.
I'm more
And then I
motivated to
turned it
watch
off.
Nick Cage movies just because of knowing Aaron.
Yeah.
How much he hates it.
So did the storm
Uh,
kick Chris out or something?
Seems like it. He's gone
we
on.
have a thunderstorm going on right now, and then rain is coming down.
It was raining hard. I heard it out there.
It slowed down now, but maybe it's going towards Albany.
Yeah.
That's where he is.
You wanna- I don't know. Early ratings?
Yeah.
Which
let's-
one?
Malcolm X early ratings.
10. This is
Wow.
a 10 for me. Actually, I rewatched it recently, and I was watching the. So first of all, it's been a long time since I'd seen it. I think the first time I saw it was probably in the 90s, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Watching it again was like it was a lot better this time watching it. I feel like I can understand the historical context. I can understand things that he was trying to say politically. This movie was like kind of hard to make because they literally ran out of money.
Yep.
And then he had to ask a bunch of rich celebrities, rich black celebrities, which is there's not many, for money, and they gave him money to finish this film. This film is 3 hours and 20 minutes long. This
Long
film
as fuck.
spans like I don't even know. It starts in like the maybe 40s and it goes to like the 60s, and you can feel it. Like you can feel like, oh, this is 1940s Harlem, New York at the beginning, as we'll talk about. And then at the end, you know, it's a totally different era, and he goes to fucking on a pilgrimage or whatever. Just all this stuff happens, and it just like hits you like how big this story is about what this guy did in his life and how he changed and how he changed the world and how he changed, and his perspective is everything about it is just like really important. So for me, it's like probably my favorite Spike Lee film, which is kind of saying a lot. But when I watched it the last time, I was like, this movie's like amazing and it's perfect. And I think it's the best film he's ever done. And it's really the biggest and most epic film he's ever been able to do. So yeah, this is my feelings. It's 10 for me.
Nice.
I'm gonna go 8. I agree. I mean, I reflect a lot of what Ibrahim just said, and I only say 8. This is the first time I've watched the movie, but it bounced around a lot, so it was a little confusing. Probably like that first half hour or so on like what scenes are they showing now, at like what point in his life. Obviously, I know who Malcolm X is. I have an idea of what he was doing, what he stood for, and his life just being taught about him growing up and shit. especially when it came to the. It's funny you mentioned the money. Like I was reading, basically Denzel Washington threw part of his salary, if not all of it, at this movie to help finance it. The reason Spike Lee was having trouble getting financing is because his last 3 movies in a row didn't make a lot of money, so the studio wasn't going to dish out what he wanted. And then so he was getting it from celebrities and stuff like that because of how important it was. I read something today that he was even convincing kids, fucking skip school, go see this movie. You'll get just as much, if not more, of an education on this one particular day.
That's true. That's true.
It's an amazing story. It's just a truly amazing story. Like how he got ingrained from being basically just kind of like a hoodlum to the jail time and his transition and what he did afterwards. But yeah, it's an A. It's entertaining. If I were to watch it a second time, I just remember seeing the 3.5 hour time and thinking, holy shit. I'm not going to finish this one day. But yeah, I give it an 8. It was good.
All right, I'm with Chris. 8. My reason is, I agree with everything you guys said. It's you learn a lot from it. It's a great movie. Great movie. It's so serious, and I don't go to these movies. This is the second time I've seen it, I believe. I think the first time I seen it in chunks because it was so long, and at the time I was younger. I was like, oh god, I'm not watching this fucking movie. It's long as shit. But no, it is really good. It's well done. But yeah, I think that's the reason. I think it's too serious for me. It's like I felt like I was in school a little bit. If that makes sense. But it's still good though. 8 is a good score for me. So really good.
Yeah, I was gonna go with 8.5. I've always
Mike, turn your mic up.
Or move it.
Or connected or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I said
There we
8.5. Always enjoyed this movie. Love going back to it. It is super long, and it does take some fucking willpower to get through it. But it's just one of those movies that's just impactful, and it just always kind of fuck. You hit home, and it kind of just makes you think and stop for a minute, especially in the time we're at now. So
Shit.
Who has a dog that sounds like it's screaming?
What's your rating?
That's me.
8.5. I said.
Oh, I didn't hear that. 8.5.
Sturdy?
He's coming. Well, I'm with Ibrahim on the 10. This really tells a lot. It gets deep into the story. And honestly, I feel like this is something that should be shown in schools. Even to this day, because it's just important to tell this type of story. And a lot of schools don't really go into minority stories very deep. When they talk about, quote unquote American history, it's like we're left out of it. Yeah, we got some slaves and then they got freed and then that's about it. But
then Martin Luther King showed up and he was happy and then everyone was happy.
Basically.
Yeah.
And they need to show it up. Oh, Dominic Cruz is about to get knocked. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, they need to show these type of films more in schools because they're very educational. And they're good. Yes, it's 3.5 hours long. I was thinking the same thing, it's going to be a long movie, but it goes. It really flows once you watch it. And just, I know it jumps around and all that stuff, but still, I feel like it kind of has to, too. It kind of has to just because you want to be, interested. It wants to pull everybody in. It wants to, tell you, this is Malcolm X, boom, boom, boom. This is how he started and kind of jump around from childhood to adulthood and kind of where it all ended.
I mean, one of the only reasons I gave it an 8 is because of, it was the jumping around was confusing, that first 30 to 60 minutes or so. I'm like, they're taking bets and throwing numbers out there. I'm like, what the fuck are they even betting on? So I the gambling part right there, back when he was in crime and stuff. I'm like, I don't even.
He's a thug ass dude at the beginning. I think that's the whole point. He is a fucking thug. And then when he does it, that light skinned dude, when he's like, I'll fucking shoot your nose off if you don't do what I say.
Oh yeah,
this dude is a thug. Like if he was born in 1975 or something, he'd be a rapper today and probably still maybe be alive. Maybe he would have gotten killed. I don't know. But that's kind of the whole point is he was living the thug life. Yeah, it's how did the dude who was living the thug life become a straight up very by the book guy, but very kind of authoritative in his political philosophy,
What's
and you see the transformation and what happens when he goes to prison.
Well, it's funny, when Denzel Washington was cast in the movie, there was a lot of concerns and complaints from Malcolm X purists because he was too dark and too short.
Yeah,
wow.
So,
Malcolm's like 6'5" or something, and he is more light skinned.
Denzel's 6'1", Malcolm X was 6'4". Denzel's a lot darker than Malcolm is, because you see all the footage after Denzel's character is assassinated is then they go into all that archival footage. That's the real Malcolm X. You can tell he looks a lot lighter than Denzel did in the movie. Like, he was lighter, he was freckled, still black, of course, but
Denzel's Denzel, and he's like one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah.
No, dude, he was fucking
so.
And that's what I was gonna say too. Like, who else would you cast besides Denzel? I know this was earlier in his career, of course. This was in what, 89, if I'm not mistaken.
This was 91. He won an Oscar for Glory, like the movie we're going to talk about next. He won an Oscar for that movie, so he'd already won an Oscar at this point.
So Malcolm X was 92 because they used footage from the JFK assassination they show in this movie. That was footage from the actual JFK movie that came out in 91, like, because that was easier to use. Like, they had to credit the people in the JFK movie instead of use like in the credits.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so yeah, he was a hood ass dude, and him and Spike Lee were fucking robbing houses and gambling and shit, and fucking white women.
yeah. I honestly see that's the part I did not remember about Malcolm X or anything like that. Like, again, growing up and learning whatever we did about him.
I don't think they told us that part.
Yeah, I think that part where he's kind of like sleeping with white women, womanizing, doing an organized crime to some extent was probably.
They just taught us like what he stood for, what he was doing. That's what they taught us in school.
Yeah,
the second part of his life, not the first part.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they basically discuss like the final form, the final evolution, or the end result of before the assassination.
I feel like he's almost always talked about in regards to Martin Luther King, and it's always a contrast. It's like, oh, look at this guy who's really radical, and look at this guy who's really nice, and the nice guy won. Like, that's usually the story, how it goes.
You're right about that.
You know, that's and it's like, don't be radical. That's bad. Like, that's the fucking shit you get in our education system, basically.
Well, I think one of the crazier scenes for me after I was looking up trivia and reading about the movie and stuff like that. There's the scene where after he's out of prison. He's gotten involved with the Nation of Islam. He's out there on the street preaching, and they show the other preachers as they're doing like this circular motion around the streets. One's supposed to be Al Sharpton, really young Al Sharpton. The other one is, I forgot his name, but like the founder of the Black Panthers and shit, who's also
like Huey P. Newton or one of those guys,
something like that.
Yeah,
and it's what was blowing my mind most is knowing the people that are still alive these days or still show up in the news that knew him. Yeah, like were alive during that time. Like, this is not like, you know, this is not Glory. This is not the Civil War. This is stuff that there are many people who are still alive for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh hell yeah. It just seems so great. Like, watching this movie, and then like how Worst Damn Gamer said earlier, Chris P, about how it kind of reflects in some ways like what's going on now with certain shit, and we really don't have that leader to give you like that correct direction of like either being calm when you need to be calm, or just like fuck it, knock the fucking door down, kick them in the fucking teeth, and just step on their throat and listen, this is what the fuck we need. All you have is a bunch of rowdy ass people right now. And it's like, you need that. I'm not saying you need that, but you know what I mean? You don't have that person, but also you don't have that person that has, I guess you could say, that's brave enough or maybe selfless enough that knows, like, listen, I'm going to be the head of this. And there's probably a high chance that I'm going to get taken out because I'm doing the right thing. But it hits home more so than watching this, say, as when we all have seen this. Well, the ones that have seen it as a kid, even if you watched it in blocks as a kid, like, you heard the story, you heard your parents talk about it here and there, you hear about the bits and pieces in school, but then when you see the actual film as a kid, you're just like, oh wow, like, yeah, that's kind of cool, or whatever, or it's too long and it's not really grabbing your attention because it's not really what you're into. But watching it as an adult, you're just like, holy shit, wow.
No, I mean I could see why if you were watching this in like middle school or high school, you'd be turned off. One, because of the length, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And two, it's school. Nobody in school at that point, or at least very few kids, probably really give a shit.
No, it's because
You want to play
teachers tell
Fortnite
you
or
what
some
to-
shit.
Yeah, I know.
Because the teacher is like, "Hey, you're going to learn this. Watch this movie. It's about learning." You're like, "No," so you're automatically going
you're
in.
out.
Like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
but that's just your like average attitude of the
Yeah.
teenager.
Teenager, yeah.
Yeah. I would honestly, I didn't give a fuck what movie was playing when we were watching them in school. I was happy as shit. I'm like, wait,
Yeah, no, you didn't have to do work. I used to sit there
Oh
and
yeah,
sleep.
yeah. There's that too. But still, you're only kind of half paying attention because you don't
Yeah.
need to pay attention.
Yeah, I
It's not
did.
like-
I went to sleep.
Yeah.
honestly, it varied for me because I was always the type that was into like documentaries and those type of shit. So if they had those on, I'd watch them. Of course, something funny on. But I don't know. I
So
guess it varies with people.
you mentioned after watching this, you can't imagine Denzel basically not playing this role. Richard Pryor was attached in the really early stages at one point to play.
Yeah,
Malcolm.
right, Chris.
Why?
Richard fucking Fry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting
Maybe,
choice.
but it is
Well,
because it's hard
an
because
interesting
he's
choice.
silly. He's silly. So you're like, can he get really, really, really serious?
Maybe.
See, you,
Well,
you
he
say
looks
that,
nothing
but,
like him either.
Yeah, true.
so setting that aside, I think when it comes to comedians, though, like maybe I don't remember if we touched on this. I was talking with you guys last week or some point. Comedians draw all their fucking humor from pain. That's what
That
makes
is true.
the best
Yeah,
comedians
that is
the
true.
best comedians. They've had they've experienced these shitty things. They've gone through these shitty things. So could a comedian have played this role? Sure.
I would say
think
so.
I think that's entirely possible. Richard Pryor was awesome. It's hard to imagine.
But what,
Yeah.
what it is because Denzel's such an amazing fucking actor. Like he's not just one of the best or the best black actor. He's one of the best actors ever.
That's great. I mean, so in 1992, obviously this was after Glory, and we'll talk about that. What level of fame was he in 1992?
He's
I don't know.
pretty high level of fame. I mean, again, he
Yeah,
won an
I would say
Oscar.
that's like
I
early mid of his career.
yeah, because
he
like
died
I believe he had done this movie, The Hurricane.
Oh, the Hurricane. I remember that.
now
No, The
Under
Hurricane was
Siege,
later. The
right?
Hurricane was later.
That was was that in 2000s?
Yeah, that was 99.
99. Okay.
Yeah, Ibrahim, real quick, if you want to, which I should have said this earlier, but if you want to message me 2 random Christmas movies, and I'll let you know if they're on the wheel or not. You can. I'm gonna throw them on the wheel like right now when we split because we're gonna do 2 Christmas movies next Saturday.
Oh,
For
and
Christmas time.
Okay.
the other, just quick.
Yeah,
the other,
I feel like he's been like from the jump. I mean, he basically won an Oscar
he came out of the gate just
like right away,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like almost right away, basically. So
That's
the-
crazy
the-
though. Like, who else did that? Like, you got to think. There's like a handful of people come right out of the gate and you win an Oscar.
well,
Also,
the thing is, like,
his son-
there's not a lot of people that sustain the success. So like Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar and then he fucking went off a cliff.
yeah, that's true.
I'm glad you said
Yeah.
that because I was just about to say like if you think of actors,
He started doing snow dogs. You're like, you said.
I don't know what he did, but he went off the fucking cliff after that
There's-
Oscar, unfortunately. But
I
with
feel like that's-
with him, and this was one where he should have won. Really, he should have won for this film as well
I
before
agree.
he won for Training Day. So he was just always been on his shit, and he's just like one of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he's still an actor where if he's in the movie, people are going to see that movie because Denzel's in it, and they're like, it's gonna be a fucking great movie.
So a crazy stat when it comes to winning Oscars or Best Actor awards, that his screen time in this movie is most of the movie. This movie's 3.5 fucking hours long.
Mhm.
It is the longest amount of screen time an actor in the category being nominated for like Best Actor has ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long ass movie
Also,
Yeah, it is.
about him.
his son and mom are
Yeah.
in this movie. There's 3 Washingtons in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, what's his son's name? I forget his fucking son's name.
I
He's a big
forgot.
actor too now.
He
Yeah,
was in the HBO show or a Showtime show or something like Paul. Was he? I don't remember.
Fuck, what is his name?
I don't remember what he was in.
The other casting news I found in this West Indian Archie, who Vin Rhames is playing. That is Vin Rhames, right? I thought
Oh, John
that was
David. John David is his son.
Yes.
Yes,
He
that's it.
changed his last name so he wouldn't be
No, he did not.
His dad or some shit.
He did not. He's John David Washington, and that's.
I mean, he goes by John David more so. I think maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, he goes by John David Washington. Yes.
But Spike Lee originally wanted Samuel L. Jackson for that West Indian Archie character role. That could have been interesting.
Yeah.
See, now Samuel L. Jackson, as funny as he is in movies, he's someone who could play a serious role too.
He's played a lot of serious roles,
but
especially in the 90s.
Yelling motherfucker so much that that's just what I think of Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's his catchphrase now. It's like he got to say in like every movie he's in now.
Well, yeah, now, but 1992, I feel like he could have easily played that West Indian, that role there where he was Denzel's kind of mentor and to the gambling world and shit at the beginning.
And that's the guy from The One.
Mm-hmm.
The main cop.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a funny note. Spike Lee and the crew for this movie, Warner Brothers was the studio behind this movie. They nicknamed Warner Brothers the Plantation. So whenever they refer to the studio,
well, the Plantation says that we have to stop shooting in a week.
Wow.
That's really
made every white person on set uncomfortable.
I mean, there wasn't a lot. Was there?
I'm telling you right now, for a movie like this, if I'm in it, white people, you could be my best friends. I'm making you feel uncomfortable as shit.
I feel like that's a perk of being black.
Hey, it is. It's one of them.
Oh my god, man, that's really funny.
It's one of them.
So I got
another note was like Spike Lee had to do a meeting with Farrakhan because he was afraid that they were gonna come and like fuck up his shit while they were shooting. They're afraid that they were gonna not like the movie and then they were gonna come and fucking destroy their set or something.
Basically, they wouldn't let it happen. Is what he's getting at.
I mean, shit like that, like Narcos, the movie about like this is a TV show about Pablo Escobar and some of the Medellin cartel. They were shooting down there, and then they were shooting a new season about the current cartels. And I believe someone got killed. I believe a crew member got killed, or they stole some of their shit and killed somebody. So that's not a fucking joke. I mean, when you're out doing a movie, it's not like you're untouchable.
It's
not like
motherfuckers
come on set and they beat the shit out of somebody. It's
if it's about a real person's life, and they're like, "Yo, listen, you got to cut some shit out. If you say too much." Or
especially when we get to the ending where they basically accuse someone of doing the killing.
Yeah.
And those people could still be alive, right?
Exactly.
Like the people who either did the kill or the people who called for the killing.
They feel like
the three
stupid or ignorant or
so the three people that were supposedly involved with his assassination, Spike Lee put their name in the credits. So those people's names are in the credits.
And by the way, I don't know how you call that assassination. That was like a fucking
bro, they did him dirty.
Yo, how many times you need to shoot him? He was on the ground. They jumped up on the stage and shot him. I'm like, wow.
They wanted to make sure he was dead.
With a shotgun.
Man, he got a sawed-off shotgun in his chest.
Your hand in my pocket.
Wow.
No, bro, they really said that too. That's exactly what they said. Get your hand in my pocket, and then some people just blasted him.
Yeah.
And what's not funny about the assassination, but is remember earlier in the movie when that same dude was like, "Get your hand out my pocket," and caused a commotion and ran out.
Yeah. Trial run.
Yep.
So, from what I was reading, the original screenplay for this movie was basically based on his autobiography, which it took them 20 years to do. The film's producer, Marvin Worth, knew Malcolm X in real life, so friendship played a huge role in him getting the rights to do the movie. But he got the rights in 1967. Not clear. This movie didn't come out till 1992.
That's crazy.
So this is something that was just always fucking back and forth,
spinning wheels,
so many years, spinning wheels, shit like that. At one point, Oliver Stone expressed interest in directing this movie, and he wanted Denzel Washington as Malcolm X.
There was a big to-do, so there was a lot of other directors who were white who were up for this movie, and then Spike Lee kind of was like, that's fucking bullshit. Someone black should direct the movie.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of them dropped out in a row. Spike Lee.
You know what? And it's funny because it's a kind of a lot of similar notes to Glory, which we'll talk about, because Glory was directed by a white Jewish guy. You're talking.
I mean,
about...
Norman Jewison was going to direct this movie before Spike Lee threw a fit,
Yeah.
and he dropped out.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
The original screenplay apparently
I don't even know who
was.
that is.
You can find the original screenplay out there on the internet. It was titled "One Day When I Was Lost." Apparently, it began with Malcolm X driving to the theater and then just kind of telling his life through flashbacks. Is how this was a kind of originally.
Originally.
Okay.
Got you.
That's different. That's interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting. I'm glad. I'm happy with what we got, though. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. That's interesting.
Oh,
They made it seem like he knew he was gonna die that day. Like he was out. Like,
Yeah.
out
He
in
was-
space.
I don't know if. I don't know. They definitely made it seem like that. I don't know if he anticipated it happened that day, but he knew he was gotten to the point
Yeah, because remember,
where it could happen anytime he stepped out.
After that, I
once
would
he
have
had
my family there.
Once he had that breaking off of what's his name, like it was a wrap. It was just a matter of
Honorable
time.
Elijah Muhammad.
Elijah Muhammad, who
Yeah.
fucked everything he could, anything with legs, he fucked it. Yeah.
Yep.
Once they broke apart, it was like he became a threat. He became a threat to them.
yeah,
So they had to eliminate the threat.
because he was
So
exposing them.
Yeah.
He was about to expose them more and more, as well as try to help things out, like. Because you're watching it and you're seeing like how don't talk this, that, don't do this with white people, and then after he goes through that, he's like real militant, and then he kind of switches up, not switches up in a bad way, but kind of changes. And he's just like, I should be treating everybody.
Well, one of the best parts is when he goes to the Middle East and he's doing his Hajj, and he's like, "Oh, I was blown away by the fact that I was doing Hajj with white people, but they were all Muslims."
Yep.
And for him, that was like kind of a moment of political change, or at least ideological change, that made him think differently after that point in his life.
Malcolm X's widow, who that's another thing I had no idea was what kind of family he had when he was assassinated. Honestly, I didn't know he had kids, or at least how many.
Yeah, what, 5 girls, right? All girls, I believe it was. 5 of them.
But his widow served as a consultant on the film. It's written on his biography. There was apparently one version of the screenplay where his biographer was included in the movie. The biographer's name was Alex Haley.
The guy who wrote Roots.
Yeah, they were going to have him as a character with the intent that Eddie Murphy would play that character.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's put Eddie Murphy in everything.
Yeah.
So that would I don't know. After watching this the way it was, imagining that would be I feel like that would have kind of taken me out of it. Not to discredit
Eddie,
his
I just
acting
can't picture
ability,
anybody
but-
else but Denzel. I mean, because I
But
watched the film.
we're also just coming off watching Beverly Hills Cop and stuff shit. So
But like you're saying, I just can't picture anybody else besides Denzel playing this character.
that's a big name to throw up there with Denzel when Denzel is supposed to be your focus for almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And he did a great job with it. Like that had to be, because that's one of those roles to where it's like, yeah, you could do a movie like, say, fucking I'm trying to think of a Man on Fire or whatever, something like that. But
That was
then
a
when
good
you're
movie
doing
too.
this, like if that flops and you're the actor in it, yes, you're gonna be mad financially, but this is different because this is like, not only should it make a bunch of money, but it's like a very impactful film. These are the ones you're like, I can't fuck this up because this. If just put it like this, if this movie ended up being terrible, this might be like it for Denzel's career. Like
It would have fucked the shit up pretty bad. Yeah.
He'd have been like Cuba Gooding Jr. Just doing dumb movies. Snow Dogs Part 3 with Denzel and Cuba Gooding Jr. Somehow
Begging Disney for
No,
can I
this
see one of
guy-
your movies.
Well, I saw as I was reading through shit today and interviews and stuff with Spike Lee, he was joking that like him and Denzel had their passports ready to leave the country basically if people took this came out with
wow.
pitchforks and torches and shit from like how wrong they got this or something like that.
Yeah, you got to be ready. Shit.
But one of the more interesting things I found when I was looking into behind the movies, because with any kind of biopic, and I kind of use that term loosely, I'm curious to see how much of this presented was actually real and stuff like that. So the character that played Brother Baines in the prison that kind of gets him into Islam,
Pharaoh
that was-
convict.
Yeah. Fictional composite character that they used. Apparently Malcolm X says he was led to the Nation of Islam through letters through his brother and sister, and not a specific character he met while he was in prison.
Okay.
So that was interesting to see.
So speaking of him going to prison, I liked the scene where they were before the judge. So it's the two of them and these two white women. His white women get basically a slap on the wrist, and they're like you evil hoodlums, you guys are like the total scum of society. You get like 10 years or some shit, or whatever they gave them for
years.
fucking robbery. It's like
Yeah,
and these other women get like probation or something. Like
they got like probation, or like 2 years
probation
or something like that.
Yeah, nothing.
And they're just
Nothing
repeated 14 counts of 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Just kind of laughing, 8 to 10, 8 to 10.
See, if you didn't know,
fuck,
like,
man.
because they mentioned that he knew what it meant, but if, like, I would have been the other guy, I would have fainted. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like that is stacks or something.
Holy
But
shit.
the transition he makes during prison to come out and just be so devoted to a religion or something like that, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, he's totally different. And then he sees his friend, and his friend's like, "The fuck?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to fucking rob people with this guy."
So now, did you think he liked the power? Because like that one scene when his wife was saying, it was like, "Is it for the money and all that shit?" And did you think he was like craving the? It was like he felt good about the power at the time, like in the beginning, before he realized.
I think he knew the power of that power. Whether or not he was seeking that out or really enjoyed it, I don't know.
It might have been one of those things to where, like, even from the beginning, he was always, or after the prison and everything, he like what he was doing, he thought was the correct way of doing things. And as far as the power thing goes, it might have been just, I know I have the power to control this, to do the right thing, but there could be that small piece, because it's just human nature of that little bit of, that little bit of power you have, or big amount of power you have, an amount of power. You're like, I have the power to do this, and I may do it. I might step on this just a little because I know I can. But then, of course, you see how things play out after a little bit. But I don't think it was power with bad intention. Just power with trying to do right, and even when he was doing wrong, and I'm not talking about the crime stuff, but just with still being like with the race relations, as far as with the good white people, I'll say.
Yeah.
Like with that, he was wrong on, and he didn't really realize again until the whole Muslim thing. When they went into the pilgrimage and all that stuff, and kind of just visited that and seen all different races of Muslim, and he just was like, these people are my brothers as well, my brothers and sisters as well.
One of the things I thought as I was looking into this that kind of puts Malcolm X's, level into perspective, I guess. So there's the scenes after he's assassinated, and before they kind of interspersed with like the montage of old footage stuff. There's a scene where they have like the Dalai Lama, I think, speaking to a class. And he's using one of Malcolm X's speech, but the Dalai Lama purposely and doesn't use the phrase "by any means necessary." That's kind of where the line is drawn, it seems like, when it comes to his philosophy, Malcolm X philosophy, and basically anybody that wants to avoid violence.
The Dalai Lama?
Yeah.
Am I crazy here?
Him?
Are you talking about Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, Nelson Mandela. Sorry.
Yeah. By the way, that's another thing. Like, I remember watching that shit again. Like in the '90s, I don't really I didn't get that shit. I didn't get all of the, all the shit, the South Africa shit. Like Nelson motherfucking Mandela is in this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Nelson motherfucking not a guy playing Mandela. Nelson motherfucking Mandela, the guy himself.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the most important figures of the 20th century is in this movie. And I mean, it makes sense because like there's a direct line between the two of them ideologically. And Mandela was in jail. I don't even know how long he was in jail for. Fighting apartheid.
30 years.
Right. It was like 30 years or something. He was in prison for
But if you go back and watch,
apartheid.
like it was intentional. Like Nelson Mandela wouldn't use that part of Malcolm X's speech, but if you go back and watch that, Spike Lee cut it so as soon as Mandela was finished that part of Malcolm's speech, they cut to Malcolm X saying by any means necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Malcolm X was accepting violence. That line makes it sound like he was accepting the violence.
Oh, it does. That line's powerful. That
Yeah.
you could take it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, apartheid's like a perfect example of like having to do some type of militant resistance for decades to end oppression. And if oppressed people feel like they don't have any other way out, that's what they're going to do.
It is kind of inevitable. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a politician in power says the same exact thing, you know what that means. That means, hey, we have resources that we are willing to use. Try us.
That means we want.
If you want, try me, because you got me all the way fucked up.
It's so ridiculous because it seems like it gives the person like just an ability to deny, even though they know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be responsible for them. I didn't specifically say that. Sure, but still.
True. But I mean, it's necessary. It's necessary because being peaceful to certain types of people obviously doesn't fucking work. Still to this day.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is like the status quo is not peaceful, right? If you're living in America, if you're living in the Deep South and you're black, that's not a peaceful existence. That's not a good place for you to be, and it's not like things have to change, and things have to change by whatever means necessary.
Yeah.
And you can ask nicely, and if people don't do anything, well, then you can ask a little bit more forcefully. And if that doesn't work, well, then maybe you need to bash them over the head, and then they'll fucking get it.
And some still don't.
Throw a fucking bomb in there because they bombed churches, fucking churches. They bombed churches during the 60s.
Yeah, no. Crazy.
Tore up Black Wall Street. They did a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. Oh,
I will say, I was kind of distracted in the first 30 minutes or so when I sent this in the group text, just because of their suits reminded me so much of watching Jim Carrey in The Mask.
Oh,
that's what that stuff's based on. Is like, those types. That's what these. And what's funny was Spike Lee talked about. He was like, the movie I'd always want to do would be a musical. He's talking about like that whole scene where they're like dancing and shit was like the closest thing he's done to a musical, which I thought was really funny.
Yep.
That scene is really cool because like they're like doing the hand stuff and then it like transitions. They're fucking dancing.
That was crazy, man. The whole dance scene, like that was going on a lot longer than I expected too.
Yeah, he was indulging, but it's kind of true to the Harlem in the whatever that was the 40 like late 40s or something.
40s 50s.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian just the Russian roulette scene was intense. Like Malcolm X was a crazy motherfucker before he went to prison.
Well,
he's a very
bluffed it though. Didn't he bluff it? The bullet was in it.
Yeah, it wasn't even in there.
Yeah,
but still doing that, it's crazy. Yeah. So that's
he gets the point across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He gets the point across. And like the whole thing was that the dude was a bitch, right? Like he bitched out. He was like fucking scared and shit. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did the Russian roulette thing, but he did it in a very intelligent way. Like there was no bullets in the gun, and he was doing it to just literally scare the shit out of the other dude, make himself look like, yo, listen, I give zero fucks. Look. Because when he was like, I'll even do it again.
Yeah.
And everyone's scared. Everyone's like, stop, Red, stop.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, as soon as he said something about Russian roulette, I'm like, all right, man, what do you want?
Yeah.
You're out. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out.
I'm with you.
I'm good with that. And man,
that's just scary, man. That shit's really scary. Like, that's a level of psychosis I'm not down for.
It's just it's a crazy movie. I watched it over the course of like 2 or 3 days, probably in parts.
I watched.
But even then, I didn't feel like I spent 3.5 hours of my time just because it's engrossing.
Yeah. Like I did it I watched it Tuesday. I watched Glory Thursday, and just watched them all the way through. But it was cool to see the growth though, like from where he started to like where he was going, and just to imagine how much further he would have went, and maybe how much closer people would have been if he didn't get assassinated. If Martin didn't get assassinated. Fuck those people that did that.
That's so fucking mind blowing. Just like thinking about. I mean, it's a strong possibility they could have been alive. Maybe not alive today, but been alive in the last. I mean, they could have been alive when Barack Obama was president.
Yeah, they could have been alive today.
Yeah, they could have. They could have been. But that's just insane to think, and just to think of like how much, just like human leadership was taken away
Yeah.
frivolously, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, and just such a fucking, just in such a fucked up, terrible way too. Like in front of so many people, just gunned down, hunted. Basically, you might as well say hunted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, even that one dude who was like sent to wire his car to blow up. He told them.
Yep.
He was like, they ordered me to wire your car. He
Yep.
goes, well, I love you too much. He's like, I look up to you and shit.
By the way,
But
the casting,
crazy.
like the low key casting in this is really good because like one of the guys who does the assassination is Gerald Esposito, who's like a huge actor now, but like at the time, you know, he for whatever reason couldn't get really good roles, and I think he's one of the gunmen. He's one of the people who gets like caught. Like three people get away, and he gets like fucking caught by a gang of people.
Where they drag him outside and they're kicking him and stuff.
They fucking drag him. They're kicking his ass. Yeah. There's some other really good actors in this, but like it's really impressive. And yeah, I mean the whole sequence when he's gonna get assassinated, it's just like, yeah, it's like he knows it's coming.
Yeah.
You see the dudes out there in the audience, it's like, fuck, dude.
I was gonna say,
his family.
Like when he was on the sidewalk and the people were talking, like the person was talking to him, and he was just like zoned out.
Yeah, he's
That's when I was like, I
portrayed
knew he was like, shit's going to go down today.
They obviously portrayed it like he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like he knew it had to happen.
So if I was him, or if I, like to this day, if I was in power like that, and I know I'm being hunted down and I could die any day, I would not have my family go to my things, my rallies, and
Well,
all
he
that
stopped.
stuff.
Remember, he stopped that though with his wife and kids. He stopped that. He was like, "Listen," because remember when he started staying at the hotel too. He's like, "You guys, I'll stay."
Yeah,
here.
but they are there for that day. I would like, yo, you're not going to any anymore. His kids seen him get lit up.
Yeah, that is true. And
I'm like,
and he didn't mind the security. Didn't he? Was like, "Yo, don't stand guard. Do da 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 da."
No, yeah.
So here's an interesting question: If it really happened like they portrayed it, and
It probably did.
Yeah,
it probably did because you're trying to like. That's the thing. Like in any film, you need to make things dramatic more than true.
Yeah.
Because the truth is just some boring shit. Like some motherfuckers just probably ran into the fucking place, guns blazing.
Shot once and ran out.
Yeah, or like a guy, like a couple people shot, and then people came from and then more people shot at him. Like to making it almost like a diversion, and so it was really chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even still, though, like it's just wow. Like,
I mean, I stick with my 8 man. It's a powerful
same
movie.
here. It is awesome.
My only complaint was the jumping around in the beginning. It was kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly they were up to. It's mostly with the gambling. Okay, he's getting into being a bookie. He's gambling. I'm not sure what they're.
I get that. He was learning
fucking
from the
throwing
dude.
numbers out. I'm like,
yeah.
Yo, Red, those are my numbers. Like what numbers for what?
That's when he's tried to screw him over. He was like, listen, I told him. Remember, I said those numbers, and Red was like, I never forget a number.
Yeah, the first like 30, 50 minutes were a little.
because he's telling not to write the numbers.
Yeah. He said, don't write it. It's a paper trail. Don't write anything down.
You gotta remember.
But like
that was just that first half hour is just to show you like how he started as far as like as in his like young adulthood till, and then how he grew it like that.
Yeah.
He made, I'll say, 2 big changes because you go from prison to how he was when he first came out and with the nation and all that, and then from how he was after that, he makes another huge change, which was probably again the best change he made. Was the second, the last change, and then he got killed for it, basically.
It's crazy too, because that dude wanted to kill him, and he ended up going back to him where he was messed up like an apartment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like had a stroke and he was super fucked.
Yeah. So he went and helped him. He went back to him and shit. I'm like, damn. I know if you're hunting me down trying to kill me, like, yo, I'm like, if I got away from you, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I'm like, fuck that.
I also want to bring up like there's another really, really great scene in this where it's like towards the middle of the scene of the film, and like, so he's going to, I guess, give a lecture or something, or some kind of, I don't know, whatever it was, at some college. And then some white girl's like, "Oh, I love you so much. How can I help you?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's nothing you can do to help us."
I
And they
wrote
just
down
fucking
it,
walk. They keep going, and it's like,
you
damn.
basically, you can give me money, but you're not.
No, I wrote a note.
No,
down
he
about
says nothing. There's nothing
Nothing.
you can do to help
So
us. And they just
the
walk
white
away.
girl comes up to him and his crew as they're like walking into this building, like, I am all for what you're saying. I'm sympathetic to the cause. Like, what can I do to help him? He's just like, nothing. He just keeps walking.
See, that's where
Yeah.
before he went there, that's where his mindset was. No white.
He was very militant. He was very like
Yeah.
separatist. He was
Yeah.
a separatist.
Yeah.
He's like, there is no way that white people and black people can coexist together. They must be separate. And another thing they get into is like, you know, again, there's these kind of it was ideological battles between him and Martin Luther King Jr. And he's like, well, and I forget there was something that happened. It was some kind of riot or something happened. And he's like, well, I told you there's no way that there can be peace with these white devils.
White devils.
Yeah. And another one of my favorite things was like, so there was like his reaction to Kennedy being assassinated. That whole thing, again, that's something like when I was a kid, I would have never understood. But like, because that's one of the most important moments in American history, the fact that a president got his fucking head blown off and it was shown on television.
A president that
So everybody
everybody
could see
loved. Like
Yeah.
everybody loved at
Well,
the time.
yeah, I mean,
Not everybody.
there's I mean, regardless, it was a unifying moment for sure for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of, I forget exactly what he said, but he basically was like, yeah, fuck Kennedy. Oh, he said the chickens came home to roost. Yes, he said
Yeah,
that.
the chicken thing. He
And-
did that. Yeah.
And that's like, see, that's the kind of shit, that's the kind of truth that people can't really tell because it's so biting that the people aren't ready for it. It's like fucking being in the Matrix and someone tells you you're in the Matrix. They're not ready. Like, how can you say that? It's true. And he then gets censured for that. He gets censured because he said the truth. And so he can't even speak the truth within his own little political sphere, who is supposed to be outside of,
Yeah.
you know, the United. They wouldn't let him say that, which was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I really like that sequence because, like, again, that's something like now I appreciate it a lot more because I can understand, like, like why both sides of that happened. Because again, Malcolm X was telling the truth about the situation. It's like, this is a violent country. We perpetuate violence against other people, and then you're surprised when it comes back to us. And there's a lot of people who don't want to hear that shit because they want to have the kumbaya fucking bullshit moment and not think about the truth of the situation.
You know what else is crazy about that? Just because you mentioned Ibrahim is how you mentioned like that happened and then the unity. Why does it always take like tragedy or something really fucked up for people to unite? Like, why can't if you do this beforehand, a lot of the tragedies would kind of just stop happening so much. I'm not saying they would 100% disappear, but if you're like together, like the real kumbaya shit, how you pretend to be but really be like that, that'll solve a lot of fucking problems. That'll solve a lot of fucking problems, but it's just, I don't get it.
It's always after some tragic shit or something bad.
Like 9/11, everybody came
9/11.
together.
Yeah.
People just fall into their old ways.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
It's that whole getting back to normal.
Yeah.
But
mentality.
I feel like instead of getting back to normal, it should be like let's get better than normal. Let's
Let's keep this going. Let's
It
keep
should
this going.
absolutely
Yeah.
be that.
Yeah.
But
go and be better than normal because normal is fucked up.
yeah, exactly.
Which
Hashtag wheel.
I mean, even now you could
what'd you say?
relay
Hashtag
that-
wheel.
Yeah, you could relay that to how people come back from the pandemic and their attitudes after this. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I mean by that is fucking like now. You had all of 2020 with everything going on and stuff still going on.
all right, Christmas episode next week.
What the
That's
fuck?
Yeah, we're doing holiday.
We're doing a
season
Christmas
wheel.
holiday episode next
So
week.
basically, it's whatever we're doing 2 films next weekend, and then whatever films don't get picked because we didn't do a Christmas wheel, which we should have, is just going to be saved for next December. So we can continue to add movies on throughout if you guys think of Christmas movies.
I will say my girlfriend is all for Christmas Vacation. She's been harassing me all week.
Well, we'll see if we can make her happy.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
We did Die Hard though.
Yeah.
We did it already.
It is a Christmas
We'll do it
movie.
again.
We did it last year.
I have no problem doing it again and agreeing it's a Christmas movie, but it's not a movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Please don't land on one of those cheesy Christmas movies.
Come on.
You're gonna have to be
Come
more specific.
on.
I was gonna say
Right.
Like Christmas Story. I
Ernest?
don't like it.
Ernest?
Home Alone.
No,
No,
it's
that's
Oh,
gonna
is it Ernest Save Christmas? Keep going.
be
Keep
Ernest.
going.
Ernest.
Yes.
Yes.
I put this one.
So that's the first one.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Remove, and I'll shuffle it up again. And go Mariah.
Fucking Mariah Carey, man.
I guess that's appropriate as long as we don't have to hear the song.
Oh, we
Is there
might have-
another person who like just owns a fucking time of the year more than Mariah Carey?
Nope.
No,
No.
probably not.
Not gonna be Christmas Vacation.
It's like November like
Oh,
25th
no.
rolls around and this bitch is just there.
Yeah,
Home
Home Alone,
Alone.
please. Thank you. I didn't want Christmas Story.
Wait.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Nope. Didn't help.
Yeah, blow that shit. Keep it going.
Home Alone.
No, that's a white movie. A white Christmas movie by
Fine.
far.
It's on Disney Plus.
I
Oh
think
my
they're
God,
both
Bad
white
Santa's
movies.
on there. Oh my God.
Ernest is kind of whitish too.
Yeah, it is.
What'd you say? Ernest?
Ernest
Oh,
Saves Christmas is kind of whitish.
kind of.
It's like, well, it's that.
I love the Ernest movies. I haven't seen them in years, but
They're so silly.
I don't even remember them. I know I've
There's
seen
like
them.
one for every holiday.
Ernest Scared Stupid was a
Yeah,
fun one.
Scared There's a Halloween.
Oh wow, I remember that name.
Ernest and R. Kelly pee on the kids.
So many Ernest movies.
That was a very very controversial one.
It was. Scared.
Yeah,
the Kids
they
Out-
took it off. You can't. They took it off streaming. You can't watch that one anymore.
Yeah.
It was called Scared
No.
the Kids Out.
You get? I said streaming.
I mean, I went down the block and some dude was selling DVDs. It's like, can't find this on Netflix.
That's a black
Yeah.
market DVD right
Yo,
there.
I used to buy those back in the day, man. The black market.
I miss that. Yo, I'd be waiting at the bus stop. These people would come up with a bootleg. Yo, I got the new. Like, I'm good.
See,
man.
no, I was different. I knew a family member who had them, and when I got it, I bought it for they were like $5 or something, $5 or $10 at the time. I'll put it in. It's a bad fucking version. I used to call him up and fucking want to throw it at his head. I was like, "You better give me a fucking better one."
Better give
I
you a
used to-
fucking refund.
Yeah.
Yo,
I
you know
used
what's
to.
funny about people though is because you'll we'll talk back in the day more so. Like what you just said, you'll have like a bootleg tape or a bootleg DVD and complain about it. Like
Right?
to get mad about paying like say $5. Which,
Yeah, I know.
like I spent my $5. You could
Wait, I
know-
allegedly had a bootleg movie.
it's past that. It's past that. Don't worry. Allegedly
Yeah,
though.
no batteries. Don't
But,
start
uh,
anymore.
It's that rule after 10 years or something. You're all right.
Yeah.
Statutes
of limitations.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so is it glory whole time?
Glory.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Time for the glory.
I had to get the one joke in there. Glory hole. You had to get it in there
Yeah.
before we start.
I heard how Ibrahim
We
went.
still gonna die? We still gonna die,
Serious
boss?
movies. Serious movies, man.
I'm
You
so
know,
movie.
the build up in
Ibrahim, I'm so
my
glad it
comedy
came from
brain
you.
is hurting real bad.
I'm so glad I came from you instead of Chris or James. That would have been like, wow, hey, they're starting already, people.
Yeah, I got it out so we can
Well,
be
I mean,
past
Aaron, you're the one that threw out "Don't do the blackface" in the group chat.
I
like,
did.
Like that was a plan.
I
And
did.
of course,
I don't even know how that came about. Like I was just live streaming. I was like, I should just say this.
we're not. James and I aren't even the ones that brought that kind of stuff up. All I said in response was, "I guess I'm going to have to find a stronger soap." But
I just laughed.
But then I crossed the line and I said, "Can I do black dick?" I don't know if that's racist.
Well, I have now that we're alive.
Oscar Mayer.
I have a question for you before we start.
I mean,
going.
it's not. If it's caused by trauma, and bruised. That's not black. I think that's a different thing.
Wow. I gotta go grab a water or something.
my question for you, James, is can you do it? Do you mean like the whole Having someone come there and pound you out, or do you mean? Never mind.
Wow. Okay. No, never
I'll
mind.
be back.
Because if you want to do one, I mean, I'm sure there's one that'll just be okay.
Jesus.
Where you at, buddy?
Chris
Oh,
is like, I can't take it. I gotta take a break.
Lord have
Yeah,
mercy.
get enough of
This-
them.
This is what,
Holy
yeah, this is-
shit.
people can't see the group chat.
Yeah, no, can't see the group chat at all. Oh boy. So we got
Glory
prepared.
holes.
Now we got prepared for another serious movie.
Yes, we got this though.
I brought a tear to my eye. Just all those jokes.
Is it a
This
tear?
movie's another 10 from me. I feel like these are both my movies, probably.
I think
I
they
mean,
are.
they're definitely both a 10 for me.
I
They
think
were
they
on
are.
the chicken and grits wheel, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Ibrahim.
Yes.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, they were definitely. This definitely
Yes.
was on the white wheel.
I don't think you're gonna find Malcolm X.
I was
On the white wheel? Yeah.
Put it to you like this: if I put it on the white wheel, it'd be out of spite. Crackers, you got to watch this.
Yeah.
That'd be fucked. Wow.
I'm giving Glory an 8 too. Just because historical movies, to some extent, bore me just slightly. But I mean, it's incredibly interesting. It's like the first movie to fully portray an actual African American regiment, army, military regiment. They've mentioned them in previous movies, but this is the first one to actually show that kind of thing.
That portrayed it, yeah.
I'm the same way. 8, like it's really good. You do learn stuff. I watched this in school. I remember watching this in school.
Yeah, the more we talked about it last week after we spun the wheel and got it, I'm like, it was coming back to me a little bit. Like, I know I watched this and it must have been in like high school or something.
I think that's why it's at an 8 for me. It's not any higher because it reminds me of school, and I hated school so bad. I hated school.
This one
Yeah,
this one's a 9 for me. I really did enjoy it. Great story again, but I just enjoyed Malcolm X quite a bit more actually. Not a
I
little.
also think Matthew Broderick's kind of a douche.
In real life or in the movie?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
both.
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 Well, I
Carl-
see it. I see it in the movie, but then once again, he had a change too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he did
Well, yeah,
care,
in the
but
movie.
he was really military, followed the rules until he said, "What am I doing? I care for fuck this shit."
Yeah.
And that's when
I couldn't connect with his character in the movie barely at all, for one thing. But just
Yeah.
I've always thought he was just kind of a douche. I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
I
Well, he's
like-
married. He's married to the horse.
yeah.
I like
Why
the
do
prince.
that?
I like the Princess Bride guy better in this movie.
Carl Elwes. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
I
cool.
like his character. I like this character.
A lot of his scenes were cut.
Really? Oh,
Him and Matthew Broderick did not get along, according to the director.
Oh.
of course not.
Mm.
Patrick Broderick, because he's a douche. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say Don. He was in the
I'm-
news at one point for something.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that this movie was not 3 hours long. It's kind of a miracle that it's not, because
I
I'm
was
sure
pretty
there's a
surprised-
3 hour
yeah.
fucking version of this.
When I
Oh,
went
I
to
can
watch
see
this, I
that.
was
I can see
kind
a
of
longer
surprised that it was only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now that you're back from your pee break and beating your meat, what are you rating Glory?
8.
8.
All right.
All right.
Dirty?
I said 9.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
that.
that's right.
9.
So it's a 10, 9, and 8.
3/8. You know
10, yep.
what's really cool is just a lot of Civil War. They used a lot of Civil War reenactors as the extras in this movie, and they did it with voluntarily, so they weren't paid.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
That is-
So that was
Well,
kinda
they
cool.
they usually do that stuff for free, anyways, right?
Yeah.
But still, like if they wanted
Yeah.
to use the I can't imagine better background actors for a Civil War scene than actual reenactors like that. So I'm
Yeah.
sure they probably could have easily negotiated some kind of pay.
Yeah,
They're like,
something,
no,
yeah.
let's.
Maybe not though. Maybe
I
not
don't
though. Maybe it was just like, okay, you guys will have a chance to be seen by more people, maybe picked up on other things, or maybe
There's that, but I mean that's it. Like watching the battle scene at the end, which is just absolutely fantastic. It's just pure chaos. I can't imagine being
Yeah.
part of something like that, filming or actor wise.
You can tell how the times are different. Like back in the day, everybody wanted to join the military. Like It didn't matter who you are. They're like, I want to stick up for what I believe in, everything. To this day, like, honestly, like, I have nothing. I love America. I don't want to die. I don't want to go to the military. I'm sorry.
This is also a different kind of war too.
You think it back to the Civil
that's
War.
true. That's true.
The movie does a good job, I thought, of reminding you that even though the North is fighting for unity,
but there's still
plenty of racists in the North.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's not like they were all the white people were on board with going to fight.
They weren't woke.
Yeah. Like
they're in the military, they're fighting. That's their job, sure. But
like the one dude who was training them at first, the Irish. Or
they're doing the manual labor while the white regiment is walking by, and Denzel Washington's character gets into it with the guy walking by.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're also paid less. That was a big part of this. Like,
$13 and $10 a month. That was big right there.
Actually, Denzel Washington was great in this. I thought there were a lot of similarities to this role and his role in his early hoodlum Malcolm X.
Yeah, I could see it.
He's just a good actor.
And then again, he had to change as far as like more about just uniting and being a little more serious with shit, not so much. Which was dope. Again, he is an amazing fucking actor. I'm just like,
Morgan Freeman is in this.
Yep.
Awesome actor.
Andre Bauer.
Morgan Freeman has looked.
So many people.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's looked the same for 40 years.
Oh yeah.
He
looked like that when he was born.
Yeah. He was
right.
Born.
Like dude looks hella old.
He was just born a middle-aged
He's like 30.
man.
Yeah.
This is 3 years before Denzel does Malcolm X. 2 years before they film it, maybe. And he looked even a lot younger in this, which was crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's the way his hair is, because he's like...
It was, because he was
bald.
basically shaved bald in this one.
Yeah.
He was doing the Michael Jordan.
That's what it was?
Yeah, it was
that was in the early 90s, man. Everybody was doing the Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So,
it's got to be the shoes.
It does.
Wanna be like Mike.
And Denzel was actually apparently opposed to appearing in this film initially until he realized they gave him the shot of portraying a fully fleshed out character.
Oh, okay.
I like what they did with his character, but I feel like they could have done it better. I feel like they kind of jumped a little bit in the stages of his development.
Okay.
I could see that.
Again, I'm sure there's a 3-hour cut of this movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Where there's hella shit that they cut out.
Probably, there was a lot. And what was his fucking name?
Because they had
Thomas.
so many characters in this. Thomas, they had a pinpoint on. Morgan Freeman's character.
So as soon as I saw Thomas, I'm like, son of a bitch, that's the police chief from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, it is. Young,
and I
really
love
young.
that guy.
Yeah, young version.
That was his major film debut.
Nice.
That's crazy too. Like he was like high class too. Like he was in the parties. He automatically went to the bottom. They're like, listen, you're private.
You're a piece of shit.
Don't talk to me. You're a piece of shit. Move to the side.
No, but that's cool because I thought that was an interesting aspect that they purposely showed. It was basically him his story was him kind of reconnecting with like black roots because clearly being in the North, he had kind of been trained to be white.
Yeah.
That's the story that all the other black people see him as.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's fancy coat.
He's the blurred. He's the black nerd, dude.
What did y'all call him? Snowflake?
Snowflake. He's the one. He had the fancy coat. Everybody else is like ripped clothes, dirty. He just walk around.
Yeah.
The guy yelling at him like, "What are you?"
The character was so interesting. Is like this dude is like signing up to fucking die. Basically, he doesn't know it. But like you're signing up to die because he believed in the cause, and he was already a free person.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting character, and like he has that great moment at the end when he's like fucking just like and he's like screaming hella loud.
Grab the flag.
He grabs the flag. That shit was great.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking as they were running into that battle, if you're the flag bearer, what the fuck do you do if you make it to the enemy line first? You have the flag. You just trying to beat someone with the flag.
Now you go there, you put it in the ground, you go mine.
Well, it's like capture the flag. You take their flag and you fucking throw it on the ground and you put up your flag.
Yep.
I never
Like that's what you
understood
do. Because that's what they were trying to do. Basically, was take over this fort, put their capture their flag, put up their flag, and then be like, "Yeah, we won."
Just think of that. Back then, they had the people in the front. You had the drummer. No weapons. He just drums, giving away your location all the time. Just making noise, drumming.
The drummers I've never understood.
Flag.
I've never understood the drummers, but at least they sent them away before they sent the regiment.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you're done. They know where we are. You can move now.
Go.
What happened to being like?
They had to fight with glory. What don't you understand, James?
And another thing, like when they're attacking the fort at the end, and a number of them get knocked, killed before they decide to hunker down and wait until dark comes. I'm like, why the fuck not just wait until night to begin with?
Exactly.
They thought that they could overcome them. Basically, they didn't know how strong their fortifications were.
Yeah,
they gave it a shot, and you're like, "Oh shit, these dudes, they got fucking hella cannons,
cannons everywhere." Yeah, that's what basically took them out. It was
dude. I was reading this thing. There was one director. He was saying like he watched this as a kid, and like he said it was the movie that like affected him the most because he had no idea that they were gonna die, and he was like, "How the fuck can they die? How can Denzel die? This is yeah." He thought it was gonna be happy, and then they fucking dude. That shot is like one of my favorites in any movie, but it's so I don't know. It just gives me so many different feelings. They go around a corner, and there's a fucking dude waiting with the cannon. The cannon is fucking waiting for them when they go around the corner.
It's like right over the hill. They're on the bottom. They're just sitting there like looking at it. They're like, shit, and boom, done.
And that's it. And that's basically it. And they're just dead. And it's like,
the thing is,
wow.
They never took over that fort.
They never took
so strong. No. They never took it over. That's how crazy that was. They had so many cannons. For some reason, they really loved that fort. They're like, yo, give us extra cannons for this one.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's, I don't know. I mean, and I feel like this movie's unique because, like, I can't think of really any other movies like this where it's like an all-black regiment.
No.
And all of the, all these characters are black.
And this is like it. Up, it made a statement. Like they died, but it opened up. Like Lincoln, like did a speech, and it made like a lot of people wanted to join the military and help. And
that was the point of the point of this regiment, despite the fact that they couldn't take over the fort.
Yeah,
the fort remains under Confederate control. It inspired.
Yep.
I mean, Lincoln had already given his proclamation, but still, Negroes weren't signing up to be in the military or wasn't allowed until they saw this happen, and that just fucking motivation.
That cheesecake?
Yes, sir. Strawberry.
Then you got the first black. Was it Sergeant? I forgot his title. What was this? Morgan Freeman's character. They let him become.
I don't know.
Did they promote him right before the battle?
Yeah, they promoted him like a little bit before.
On the boats when they were going down south.
Yep.
He was like, "I want you," but he was like, "I don't know if I want this." He's like, "No one does."
I know how you feel.
That's so true.
Shit.
That is so true. Yeah,
it is. Man.
There was what was the other? There was a second battle scene. I forget, but there was another battle scene, right, where they take over town.
Their first one where they're just in the woods against kind of like that white militia. It looked like charging at them.
Yeah, where they talked to them. And it's like, we want to go to battle. They're like, okay, and they did that one. Like, okay, they only lost a few people, and the main people were still there, but then they're like, we'll do this one. And they're like, but the guy was like, you didn't sleep for 2 days. We're ready. That's another mistake, man. 2 days, you're not prepared. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Like, especially for something like that. Like, some people could be like, I've been up for a day or two, and you're getting up to like play some video games or some shit. Like, you're going to war. Like, you need to be like
rested, man.
100% physically, mentally, emotionally, as close to 100% as you can be. And sleep is very fucking important. Sleep is like a huge thing. Like, we're away from the battle zone, guys. We know we are. We know we're a few miles away. Let's fucking sleep now. Get as much sleep as we can. Then tomorrow's the day.
The difference between the wars now. So you had a colonel back in the day, say the Civil War here, glory, used to lead the charge with just a sword, basically, and a handgun in the front. Now the colonels are in a war room.
Yeah.
Basically telling people where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy. Like the Civil War, there's some crazy shit. I remember reading this thing. There was some guy. He was like 19, and they promoted him way up, and he had this massive fucking like scimitar sword, and he was in the Union. He would go out there with his fucking scimitar, chop people's heads off and shit.
That's wild.
Well, I mean,
Fucking wild, man.
It's definitely a lot easier to do back then because think of how close you had to be for these guns to even be fucking accurate. So you could.
These
actually
guns
shoot
suck.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, you shoot a couple, and then you got to reload it. Like, nah,
Yeah.
it's gonna
You need to
stand.
be fucking 5 feet in front of the person to guarantee a fucking gunshot hit anyway. So I was just
the
go at them
muskets.
with the bayonets. But the one scene in this movie that the most chilling scene for me, without a doubt, is just we talked about how great Denzel was. Him getting his flogging there and the tear that came down his eye. I'm like, holy fuck! I was having trouble just keeping my eyes on the screen watching this movie while that was happening.
Where
Just
he'll
the
stare
look in his face.
he'll stare right in the eyes of Matthew Broderick's character. Like,
holy Jesus.
Yeah. He's fucking, again, a phenomenal fucking act. Just that scene alone, just powerful.
So,
powerful.
I mean, that's the clip they played when he won that Oscar. Like when they were like, and Denzel Washington for Glory. They played that fucking clip.
Here's a little bonus on that scene, which I had no idea about. The director, white Jewish guy, Edward Zwick, I think you say his name.
Yep.
He claimed that for the flogging scene, Denzel was lashed full contact with a special whip that wouldn't cut his back, so he was literally being whipped.
What?
No,
it didn't cut his back, but it's still stung. And for the final take of the scene, the director hesitated to call cut to signal the flogging to stop, and he let it go. And the result was Washington's spontaneous tear down the eye. So he was fucking committed.
Yeah, you ain't whipping me.
He looks so mad, like, yo, when these cameras come, turn off, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like that look was like, yo, I know this.
You could feel the hate, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you definitely could. Definitely. And listen, white people, watching these two movies, I was just like, these motherfuckers. What? Say something. I dare you. I'm gonna slap the shit out of somebody today. But I'm better now, guys. Don't worry. But yo, that was just, again, another film where you're just like, wow, like it's all in. And again, there's still certain shit, of course, with the racism still going on to this day. Fucking years and years and years and years later.
200 years almost.
Yeah. From, where this story takes place, but I'm just like, shit.
So bad, or they couldn't even get them shoes, man. They wouldn't let them have shoes.
They could, they wouldn't. They could, they wouldn't.
But that part bothered me, though. When they finally got the shoes, they're just throwing shoes like everybody had the same size.
Yeah.
They're like, shoes for everybody, size 10s, and they're just throwing them.
Well, if the shoes didn't fit, you better.
They kind of had that pile there that they were putting them in and
really
taking
well.
them from.
Oh my jeez.
You gotta tie that shit really tight. It's like when the only pair of Air Jordans was like the fucking 18s. You bought them anyway.
I don't know how he was walking. If your feet really looked like that, man, how are you standing up?
You got no choice.
Oh my
They don't, man.
You can't be white and just sit down and rub your feet and take a little break. You're black and do that shit, you end up dead. Get up!
Yeah.
Oh my god. That scene was crazy when they showed his feet and everything. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick apparently said it didn't require much acting in the battle scenes because he was genuinely scared of large and huge sounding explosions anyway. So a lot of that's.
When you first started saying that he already is scared of black people, so what's
No. I mean, he could be. I don't know.
So why don't be in a movie if you're afraid of the fucking sounds? Jeez.
Well, you gotta understand, explosions are happening around you, projectiles and shit. What year was this?
You're generally
89.
Yeah, 89. So those are like genuine reactions to the scenes where he's in and there's this shit exploding. That's just him. Like where the
His
fuck is that
anxiety
going on?
kicking in. He's like, God damn it.
Dude, and this movie has so many scenes of him just fucking looking around and not saying anything.
Yeah.
Like, one of the reasons that I can't stand him. It's just, I don't know. He's just a douche.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his either, but it don't bother me. It didn't bother me like that.
I don't
like
know.
Nick Cage. I don't like Nick Cage, but I can still watch his movies.
Nah, fuck Nick Cage. It's not.
So, same thing. Matthew Broderick, like, I liked the movie Godzilla, but I didn't like him. Was it Godzilla 2000 or something?
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick was in it.
Oh, yeah.
The hermaphrodite Godzilla?
Yeah. Yep, that one.
That was a choice.
Was that the one with the Jimmy Page Puff Daddy?
Yeah, but the song, the Puff Daddy song, yeah.
So, did anybody else notice in the opening battle
10 out of 10 for me. I like this
where
movie.
The guy's head explodes briefly in the one scene?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I made a note of that, and then as I was looking stuff up, so apparently that was intentional. The director deliberately put the goriest shot there, the soldier's head being blown up at the start of the film to prepare audiences for the terrifying onslaught, he said.
Okay, I think that's a big jump. to prepare you for this.
We're going to give you the glorious scene.
Yeah.
Right
Crazy, man.
Interesting. I mean, unless he was talking more so of not just the visuals, but just like the story itself of what you're going to see.
I can see that for at that time, 89, though. Because now war movies now, like even Saving Private Ryan, the headshots were insane.
Oh, that movie's hella brutal.
Yeah.
This movie was somehow rated PG.
Was it PG?
Wow.
This movie is rated. Oh, it's rated R. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I was reading. There is a PG version of this movie that they showed to kids.
God.
That they censored. So all of the violence.
There was a lot of shit cut from this movie, like Matthew Broderick's co-star there, the blonde guy. A lot of most of his scenes were cut. There's scenes with Matthew Broderick's mom in the movie. A lot of those scenes, most of her scenes were cut. Like, there's a lot that was cut.
And the thing he was married, and they didn't say nothing about that in the movie. I thought he was like a single dude going through it.
They cut out the scene where he gets married.
Yep. Okay, because I know he was married.
Yep. They cut that out. That's one of the things they cut out. Like, they cut a lot of shit from this movie. Like Ibrahim said, there's a 3-4 hour version of this movie probably out there floating around somewhere.
Wow.
You would think there would have to be just to kind of go in. Not every character, of course, is backstory, but just a handful.
I mean, with any historical battle war movie, there's just a fucking even longer version that exists from what you see.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is. But yeah, like I was saying though, Malcolm X I definitely enjoyed a whole lot more than this one. Like that story really had me locked in. I did enjoy this one, it just didn't hit the same for me, I guess you could say.
It didn't hit the same. It was still really interesting.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just kind of learning a little bit more about the history of like the first Black regiment in the Civil War. American War.
This is the first episode where we've done educational movies.
Basically, yeah,
couple educational like that.
I was worried about this week because I was like, my brain automatically wants to go gutter and say fucked up shit. I'm like, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be hard.
We got that out of the way in the group chat.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I feel eased. You're right. We did.
We did.
There's a local hero you can look up that kind of fits along the lines of service like this. Henry Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. My father used to tell me about Henry Johnson growing up. And, all right, really quick. Since you brought that up, Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that because of the Boulevard. Listen, when you're naming streets after amazing black people, stop putting them in horrible neighborhoods. Like, all right, you got to put it
Don't make it the bridge between, like...
Well, when they first made it, was it a horrible neighborhood?
I don't know. I wasn't...
Usually it starts off nice neighborhood, then it goes to shit, then they find a new neighborhood. It's like...
Not always. Not always, though.
That's not the corner that the armory's on, is it?
No.
Henry Johnson Boulevard, right? Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. It's a block over.
Henry Johnson
It leads
Boulevard?
directly into the park.
It's with
Okay.
it's with the police stations there too, right?
Yeah.
It's a block
Yeah.
over from the armory where someone gets shot once a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
definitely a bad neighborhood over
But there's a
there,
statue of him in the park.
Yeah.
but I mean, still, there's way better neighborhoods, way better, nicer, safer areas.
That is, I will say, that is not the nicest part of Albany.
No.
Same thing with Schenectady. You know, Mount Pleasant used to be like really nice.
Yeah. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of places though. But it's,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't got to get into that crazy deep dive of that.
It's not a race thing. I'm talking about like drugs.
No,
and
no.
Buildings
It's
shutting
just like
down.
it's just a impoverished.
It's yeah.
A poor area where you see every race in all those areas.
Yeah.
Are we talking meth?
Change a little bit with
That
the
all
new-
of it, crack. Mainly crack.
Hopefully that starts to change with some of these changes to the laws recently.
I don't think there's
crack some more.
any question at all. The connected thing between these movies is Denzel.
That's
Also
what?
racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, lots of it.
Yeah, it's like racism in one
Historic
period,
event.
and then racism 100 years later.
Yeah, historic events.
Same different kind of shit.
Yep, and then racism now in 2021.
It's we could put in
It's like we peaked at with a point where we thought we were getting past it, and then it just went backwards.
I think honestly, with that, it was more so for people who've never faced racism and who aren't racist, and this isn't trying to be funny, but it's more so if you don't see it, you don't really notice it being around as much versus someone like myself,
I think-
Ibrahim, or
is that still out there?
Puerto
Is there
Rican Chris.
someone that don't know what racism is?
100%.
not that you don't know what it is, but you haven't
Oh.
experienced it in person. Rather that be you seeing your friend experiencing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Or
If you,
just
if you don't experience it, how would you realize how rampant it actually is?
Right, or you don't realize that it is actually the situation.
See,
And you're
that-
like,
that-
what was wrong with that? It's like,
see that part I get when you don't understand it or when you don't know because you don't see it. But I don't like when people who don't see it and when you try to come to them like, yo, that was some racist shit, and they're just like, yo, you're just I'm like, no, I'm not. Listen, I've been going through this my whole fucking life. Like, I know
Right.
somebody's being racist. You can't tell me that they're not being. Oh, that's just that's not just how they are. Yeah, racist. That's just how.
Just
they
a
are.
joke, bro.
No, that wasn't a joke.
Just a meme.
It's weird
No,
because
it wasn't a meme.
because you could tell when people like for me, and I'm sure Ibrahim and Chris have this kind of same like extra sense. You can tell when people are joking in fun, then you can tell when people are making a joke of you, like not to be. You know what I mean? There's one to be funny, and there's one like okay, I'm gonna see where I can go with this.
I mean, the way what I call it is like black people intrinsically know who their enemy is.
Yeah,
Like you know who the enemy is. You
You
see them, you see how they behave, you see how they talk about you, and it doesn't have to be like overt. It can be thinly veiled, but you're like, oh, that dude's fucking racist. He's just not saying.
It seems like you should have talked to James about your issues with him off air, but still.
if we all had that issue, this would all be on air. We're like, what the fuck? They talk to each other like that? But no,
Yeah,
seriously,
this shit wouldn't be going down right now.
And what I could say, all joking aside, about Chris and James is like we have had conversations like off air about like what's going on with the Black Matters,
about the racism, about how it's got to stop, and you know they're receptive.
I'm learning. I'm trying to change, Ibrahim.
I'm taking an adult education class.
We told them to cut that shit out. It's not funny.
Yeah,
I'm trying, man.
It's hard. It's hard.
They didn't listen, so you know, Black Jesus was just like, all right, we gotta watch Malcolm X.
That was, you know what? That was one of the, going back to Malcolm X real quick, that was one of the notes that I wrote down. I thought it was fantastic, that scene where he's talking, he stands up, he's talking to the preacher, telling him, so Jesus.
When he was asking what color,
proves that Jesus was colored to some extent.
Yeah.
Basically.
he was like, what color is Jesus? He was like, because you guys got the white. That part was powerful too. He was like,
That was amazing. That scene was fantastic.
He was
White
like,
Jesus.
like where he's from. Everybody has a darker skin, so how is he white? It's basically
Yeah.
How is he as white as all of these pictures? It's not possible.
That's the thing. Like, I really don't have a say because I'm not really religious like that. But if you go by common sense, there's a point to that. If he is in, that part of the region,
Yeah.
and people have darker skin, how doesn't he not have darker skin?
Like,
But I don't know either. But I don't get into that.
I don't get into religion too much. It's like on a religious scale, I swing more towards atheist than anything. But
there's a mix. I mean, Israelis are lighter skin
Yeah.
too. I mean,
it's it's the matter of getting too much into a belief to not be open minded and at least
The real thing is like, why did Jesus have this straight ass hair? Like,
at the very least, it should have had some curl to it.
like fucking John Lennon. Like,
Yeah,
fuck?
he mentioned that too. He said hair like wool. He's like, his hair is more like wool, so that ain't your guy's hair.
No, right? Not at all.
Unless he had that stuff that Malcolm X was using.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was another great scene too.
Oh man,
that the fucking water stopped working, so he'd stick his head in the fucking toilet.
Yo, imagine that shit. It started burning your skull.
I've never used that shit.
I don't know what chemicals are in that.
Dude, it's really bad. But that's what you got to do to straighten your hair.
Were you ever
if you have curly hair, it's really
your
bad.
class ever got lice and that shit back in the day where you had to buy the lice shampoo? That burned.
So black people legitimately cannot get lice, but my friend's sister got lice.
How?
Somebody has it, and then they like you use someone else's comb, and then it fucking gets in their hair.
It's hard to get. They jump and everything. Like if a classmate has it, your whole class basically has it.
Yeah.
Where they had the nurses, where you had to go to the nurse and they look through it and they go, "Yup, you got to go home."
That happened to me when I was. Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did anyway. But that happened to me when I was in like second grade. They're like, "Okay, we got to check all you for lice."
Yeah. I used to get so mad, like I was like, just shave my head so I can't get it. But
I never had that. I don't recall
those dirty Europeans and their straight hair and the lice in their hair and this other shit.
I had lice twice when I was younger.
Damn, fuck.
Because of classmates.
So the guy on the right that's probably what you. Could you imagine if the dude on the right came back and he was like, "Oh, I've come to bring the word." They fucking arrest and kill this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he'd get punched. He walked into the wrong place. He'd get punched.
Horrible.
Just showing you guys we still got it. We still fucking got it.
Mm-hmm.
Final ratings on Glory?
I'm sticking with my 8.
I'm sticking with my 8. I had 8s on both movies this week.
Same
great
here.
movies. Time well spent. Just
learn something more than you.
If I had any issues, if I had any issues, it was more with the actual filming and just stuff like that. But
like I do stuff from school, but I feel like I got more knowledge watching these at the age now. I got way more now.
Definitely more at an age where you can appreciate and want to understand or see more. I was going to say,
the biggest thing is coming from all of us, no matter what race you are. Obviously, you're going to understand it more as an adult than you will as a child.
Yeah.
Like, and even though as a child you've heard some of these stories and you've heard stuff about race as a child, but you're just still not really understanding it until you're an adult. I mean, you're never going to understand. As far as if you're not racist, you're not going to understand racism, and you shouldn't.
Listen, I don't. No one's going to understand racism to the point that you do versus a point that.
No. I mean, let me rephrase. As far as being a racist.
Oh, okay.
As far as being a racist, like I'm just like
that shit is like learned.
Yeah,
it is learned.
It like is people are racist because like they live in an environment or
the majority of it is inherited.
Yeah.
It's just from a product of their environment, which is awful. Yeah. And then you have the level of racism that James and I may ever be able to achieve versus the level of racism that you, Ibrahim, or even Puerto Rican Chris can achieve, which is much beyond what James and I can probably attest to.
Well, yeah, I see. For you guys, I say yes and no because you guys could be just what's the word I'm looking for? People could just look at you and think you're racist just because you're white, which is fucked up.
Yeah,
and you're definitely not. You're far from. Well, you wouldn't.
I came across that a couple times when I was in high school. where
Yeah.
I automatically got pinpointed. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, I was like, no, that you had to defend yourself, but then you don't know what to say to defend yourself because that could sound racist. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of weird to be a white trying to defend yourself sometimes. Prove you're not racist, because then you just kind of sound more racist. You worry about sounding more racist.
Number one lesson: do not say I'm not racist because I have black friends.
That's the dumbest.
You should say you shouldn't mention that at all. They're all friends.
No. Here's the thing, though, James, because I've heard it. No, man, I'm not racist. I have 3 black friends. Like, you know exactly how many black friends you have, and 2 Spanish ones, and 1 Native American.
I got a black cousin
right now. This is visual representation of how I'm not racist right here.
Yeah. But the thing is, reality though, like it is hard to tell. Like you really can't convince someone that you're not racist without. Like
I think you can. The thing is, though, it can kind of be like you can kind of sense it with people because it's just like.
No, you can't sense it, but I'm saying like if someone put you on a spot, never met you, and they automatically said, "Yo, you're racist," and they're talking at you, you really can't say to prove that you're not racist.
I get what you're saying.
It's one of those things. It's like you just gotta get to know me, follow me around.
And if you do, damn
my
if you
life, you know who I am.
Yeah,
stuff like that. You can't like argue it. You can't have a debate. Basically, I'm saying. That's what you're going to do. Because if you're thinking stuff like that, you're like, no, I got 5 black friends. Nope, I went to a black church.
So much that I have them numbered.
It don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? When you're going to debate that, you're like, no, I've been to a black church. The people are going to be like, you're racist. Like, it's hard, man. That's all I'm saying. So you can't.
I don't know. It's weird.
It is. It's weird.
But again, I feel it's something that where I'm not gonna say you can 100% tell if somebody is, but you can kind of catch a vibe. Like just by the way, certain people talk to you like, hey, how you doing, sir? Versus, yo, what's good? What's up? Like, motherfucker, we don't all talk like that. That's not necessarily racism.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's
that's not necessarily racism, but it's more so just like, why is it what's up, brother, dog, for trying to give me 5, but you're shaking this guy's hand.
Yeah. And another thing, don't.
That's a common joke in Scrubs, by the way. When people, someone going down the line, introducing themselves to all the doctors, and then they get to Turk, and yo, what up, bro? And then they go back to just shaking.
I'm going to say that right now. So that's another thing. Like this day and age, like don't go back in the past. What people used to say, like when we're younger, you follow what radio, TV, everything says. There was a time in high school or maybe middle school, where the common phrase was, "Yo, what's up, son?" Mm-hmm. You know that phrase? Everybody said it.
Still do.
And it's like people will then you'll have like people like, yo, don't call me, I'm not your son. You know, and they'll start a fight. It's like it's stuff like that. So you just hear it. So it's like taught, like not you don't even mean it that way.
Right, it's absorbed.
And when you're younger, it just comes out because you're trying to fit in and stuff like that. So
I think you could show people this, Aaron. This is funny.
I have it on mute, but I'm gonna show it. Hold up. Let me just trying to rewind it. There we go.
This is like a perfect example of the. I think code switching is the term they use for it.
Code switching?
Yeah.
I never heard.
Well, that's more like for when you talk to somebody, but like this is the same kind of shit.
Oh, shit. Wait, go back. I missed it. Play it one more time.
Yeah, do that. No. I got it. I know what happened.
I got it.
That's it.
Goes in for the hug.
Yeah, of course.
That's a great example.
So if that was the opposite, how would people take that?
That was the opposite.
What about the opposite?
See, now,
okay, so that was Obama doing that, right? What if that was a white guy doing it?
Exactly.
If the white guy was
that
doing
might have been
if Bill Clinton did it.
Like, hey, how does this look
if it was Donald Trump
You know
doing
what I
it,
mean?
you know what? If it was Donald Trump doing it, you know why he's doing it. He's doing, I like black people.
I think Obama chooses to do certain things at certain times, and that might have been one of those times he's like.
Well, no, I think Kevin was like, "What's up,
my
ninja?" Like, I think that's why that happened the way that happened.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too. What about Obama follows Kevin Durant, and maybe Kevin Durant does that to everybody? And he's like, yo, that's how he says hi. So I went with it.
I don't know, but I under it's that's the
It's
example
crazy.
we're talking about where
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just Obama aside, somebody going down the line shaking a white person's hand
Yeah.
like normal, and then you get to a black guy and you go in for like, yeah, what up, bro? And go for
Like you got the
yeah,
secret
bro.
handshake and shit, like you knew, like you knew it or something. Like it's crazy, yeah. Like I see that. It's fucked up. It's crazy shit.
That's not bad. Like,
It's funny, but
But it's funny. It makes you look at you notice it. You're like,
Yeah.
like regular handshake, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's just funny.
Cool. Got to be cool. Got to fit in.
I never seen that clip.
I haven't
Oh, that
seen
shit.
one.
That shit. That was from like 2010 or something. 2012. I don't even know.
I haven't seen it in a minute.
Yeah, that shit's really funny. That shit's really funny.
I think that does it for this one, fellas.
Yes, sir.
What movie are we doing again?
Ernest Saves Christmas and Home
Home
Alone.
Alone.
Woo! Next Saturday, 9 p.m.
Yes, sir. And
The holiday episode.
being said,
Guys,
Happy holiday.
it depends how I feel. I gotta wait till after I watch it.
Happy
But
holiday.
I got some shit about Home Alone.
oh,
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I'll let you know.
Happy holiday.
This
I
hat's
got
way too small.
my Santa hat.
It's too small.
Oh, I got a black one. It says
Of course you do.
the humbug one. Bah humbug.
Wait, you talking to me?
No,
No,
man, I got the black Christmas hat that says bah humbug.
Break it out for next Saturday. I meant to
Maybe.
break it out for the whole month of December, but I just don't remember where I put it.
I gotta find it.
Same here. Unless my wife put it somewhere.
It's in
I
my.
wear-
It's
I wear
one of those
stockings
bins with
instead.
Christmas shit.
This guy. But go on over and check out the Horror Haven LLC anywhere you listen to podcasts, including YouTube and Facebook at Horror Haven LLC. After you do that, go on and check out Horror Gamer on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch.
Gesundheit.
And after that, go check out Dreams of Creator at Dreams of Creator on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagrizzle.
You can always catch me, the worst damn gamer, every Tuesday and Thursday with my boy, and also right here, 9 p.m. Saturdays, Popcorn and Pints. I'm gaming tonight. Come catch me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Hit me. Also, any last words, you can catch Jo. She's got a bunch of things on the ghouly side, on the dark side. If you like cooking, if you like crafts, if you like stories, and all these different type of reactions, then go check out Jo on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. And it's so good at scary. If you have your own film, if it's 30 minutes or less, we can actually do a review of it live. And this will be where you're going to throw it for us and give us permission. And Sir Sturdy is about to let you know when and where we going to do those live reviews for you.
So for those live reviews that we'll be doing, those would be on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We do that right before we jump into our regular movie review. Thursdays, right now, we're doing commentary stuff just because the way our schedules work. It's just easier. So we're doing commentary movies, and we're doing commentary for the movie. We're not going to review it. We don't have, So yeah, you guys are seeing a couple of those episodes. Make sure you tune in tonight every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Horror with Sir Sturdy. Popcorn and Pints live every Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, right here. You'll see us doing 2 films, reviewing them, seeing how they connect, having some fun with them. Even with the serious films, we're still going to try to make our jokes and kind of loosen up the tension. We're going to get I'm hoping to get another couple movies to make white people feel uncomfortable again, just because. But, after you check out Popcorn and Pints and subscribe to everywhere that it is, go over to Stories from a Bar everywhere, near and far, every single place where you can listen to podcasts, including YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go follow Stories from a Bar. Deep Focus Cinema, Facebook, YouTube. You get a deep dive on cinema. You see how Ibrahim talks about films and love films. Everybody that I've seen review movies with him has that same kind of deep dive drive. That's where you're going to get it from, Deep Focused Cinema. And next Saturday, we're back with the Cinematic Canon. We're going to be reviewing Old Boy and The Handmaiden. And on top of that, starting next Saturday, it's going to be a bi-weekly show. Again, because just schedules and shit, it's just a lot easier. So yeah, make sure you guys tune into that.
Well, unless Ibrahim finds somebody and he does it randomly. But that's how our schedules are right now. We're so busy with work. It's like we don't have time to watch the movies. That's the problem.
But
They'll show up at some point.
Yeah.
we figured out
They'll show up at some point.
Anyway, people, make sure to go check out all those awesome, amazing podcasts, shows, and everything. There's more than just podcasting going on with the Z Network and all that stuff. You see us gaming and all that. Just having a great time. So make sure you guys keep tuning in. And thanks for popping by. And peace, peace, peace.
It's the little girl's fault.
Rock on.
Bitch.
It's not the little girl's fault.
It's the little girl's fault.
We're
Shoot her in
here.
the face with a cannon.
We're here.
Shoot her with a cannon.